Oval in Sydney. It's the Manly Sea Eagles.
As well. Their back line today is Shafovsky, Smith, Mogg, Monahan, Robertson. The halves are Gaffer and McClendon. They certainly have been combining well in recent times. Their forward pack today against the Sea Eagles is O'Hara, Wolford, DeVico, Wiki, Hindmarsh and Croker. And the bench for the visitors is Thompson, Wayman, Hodgson and Smith. Coming off the back, of course, of that win last week in Golden Point time against the Warriors. And the back line today for the Manly Sea Eagles as we go inside their dressing room is Stewart, Donald, Hicks, Torrens, Bradley, Walker and Monahan, of course, the halfback and captain now for the Sea Eagles. The forward pack is Heckenberg, Randall, King, Watmo, Harris and Menzies. And their bench this afternoon, a couple of jumper changes. Kylie Lulawai and Shane Dunley in their jumpers. Luke Williamson will play in 18 and Solomon Hamono will play in 19 this afternoon for the Sea Eagles. Scott Donald will play it here for Manly, still off contract. We'll consider his options during the week after this game as Watmo goes straight through them. Shafovsky picks him off at the halfway line. A great run from the second rower. Monahan, second man play for Walker, into a huge hole. Now it's a race for the line between himself and Shafovsky. Back on the inside for Hicks. They go 100 metres in a couple of plays. Watmo started it. Walker kept it going and Hicks finished it off. Absorbed some pressure from the Raiders in a set of 6 inside their own 20. And now they'll bring it back out from that end of the field again through Jason King. Randall, a dummy half. Short ball for Heckenberg, who was at the advantage line when he started his run. Stopped there by Wiki and also DeVico as they keep it coming to this left-hand side. Harris, a cut-out ball to Menzies. Another chance here for Manly. Stewart, a nice ball back for Menzies. Weaving in traffic. He finds Albert Torrens. Wiki can't go with him. And Manly, in the blinking of an eye, lead the Raiders 10 points to 0 with back-to-back tries.
Well, they just missed some tackles.
Towards their 20, Torrens playing it. Randall to Menzies, who's dispensed with the headgear for the moment. Now Harris down the short side, met there by DeVico and also Monahan. Still 10 points to 0 midway through this first half at Brookvale. A mistake here by Jason King. Turned forward by Matthew Gaffer, which in fact will give the ball back to the Sea Eagles. And Andrew Walker has had a brain snap. Towards the post, he'll play at 15 metres out here. The Sea Eagles lead by 4, but for how long? McClendon ushering players back on his inside. Troy Thompson takes it towards the post. He was stopped there by Shane Dunley. Wolford quickly from dummy half to McClendon, who was stopped in a good tackle by Steve Menzies. Wolford looking for options. We come to the right-hand side. Here's Shafovsky. Takes it back on the inside for Wiki, but again, they turn it back into the heart of the Manly defence. Troy Thompson was set upon straight away. Got an offload away to Michael Wayman, who was a handful last week for the Warriors. He dragged Heckenberg with him for a long way. Here's Wolford now. He bypasses McClendon to give it to Gaffer. Croker is chasing. Didn't come up with it. And Steve Clark will send it upstairs again.
Check onside and grounding, please.
Jason Croker doesn't look all that confident that he got the ball down. A couple of tackles left here. Wolford has kicked early in the tackle count a couple of times, but this time it's McClendon who will go. The charge down, it comes off the back there of Steve Menzies, batted backwards by Matthew Gaffer. Still just play 5 here. The Raiders have one more up their sleeve, but they're back inside their 20 suddenly. And here's Shafovsky, who will be tackled. Play on is the call. McClendon, though, will lose it. Steve Menzies on the loose ball. It's pumpkin time once again.
Simar, just check the strip here.
What is happening here this afternoon at Brookvale?
Wasn't a charge.
He's only a metre away when he'll play it. Here's Monahan. He came up very quickly. McClendon was there, but he ducked away from his tackle. Now he grubbers in behind them. Williamson is there. Did he get it down, or did he go over the top of it?
Just check the grounding here, please.
I think he's missed it.
Check the onside while you're up.
To go for the touch instead of electing to go for the 2 points.
Just outside the Raiders 10 from the tap here. Smith going on with it. playing it for Dunley. A couple of metres away from the Raiders line. Monahan went straight through them. He comes back to haunt his old team. And don't reckon he won't enjoy that.
Well, he'll love that.
Mr. Monahan.
When you're playing against a ball player.
Coming back on to Vico. The tackle, Dunley from dummy half. Monahan, and then the pass was a poor one, straight to Mark McClendon. There's trouble here for Manly. McClendon lost the ball. Watmo made the tackle. He forced it loose, and now Brett Stewart has for the Sea Eagles.
Well, that sums up Canberra's afternoon so far. They finally make a line break, and Watmo just knocking it out of McClendon's hands. That was good thinking. The Eagles go wide through Torrens.
Torrens around the corner to Scott Donald. They won't be denied here this afternoon. Good ball from Torrens on the counter-attack. The mistake came from McClendon. They went to the Torrens. Comes to Walker. Now Monahan will put the kick in on the last play. Shafovsky wants to get to it on the full. It was a good take, stretching out over his shoulder as well. He runs past Monahan. There's Watmo. Look out, Clinton. He gets away from everybody, though. Comes to Andrew Walker. He can't stop him. Eventually, it's Heckenberg who makes it. Was very damaging in that first 40 minutes as Mogg plays it here. Here's to Vico, trying to create something himself. Stopped there by Heckenberg and also Lulawai as Wolford from dummy half. Looks at that gap in between the A defenders. He keeps it alive. It comes to Croker, but Hicks sensed the danger and came in to wrap it up quickly. McClendon on the last play this time. What do they have now? It's a high ball. Smith is out there. He can't get to it. Donald could though, but then Smith knocked it on. And it's play on. Stewart is away down the left-hand side. Only Shafovsky can catch him. He comes to the fullback, bounces away from Shafovsky, and Ian Hindmarsh is there to wrap him up.
Yeah, good scramble defence by the Canberra side, but Manly, they want to use the football.
Here's Dunley coming back to the right-hand side. Croker was up quickly on Williamson to shut it down very quickly. Dunley from dummy half. Running and getting in behind Walford, who once again came up.
We're taking too many dummies, Canberra.
He left the gap and they went straight through as Nick Bradley-Galileo gets it back to Monahan. Turns it back on the inside here. Standing in the tackle is Sam Harris. They've got tackles up their sleeve. They're 19 metres away. Williamson from dummy half goes to Monahan. He grubbers in behind them. Smith is there. He couldn't get it. Donald could though. They got another one. Donald scores back-to-back tries. It's Manly's afternoon here at Brookvale. They are enjoying it here this afternoon, aren't they? As Menzies takes the short kick off yet again. This time they went to the right-hand side. But the former captain was able to take it in, and now Watmo bumps off one tackle. He works it up towards the halfway line. They might finish this game with quite a flourish here. Lulawai now, met there by Wayman and also Winky.
Well, at this stage of the season, Warren, you mentioned it, for and against is so important. As lovely hands by the Eagles.
Here's Menzies. He wants one more. He'll find it in Chris Hicks. He'll score as well. The Sea Eagles have taken flight at Brookvale against the Raiders. It's 36 points to 12. They're helping their own for and against them. He'll play it back to Walford. Here's O'Hara at first receiver, straightening on his run. Picked off there by Randall, a couple of metres in front of the post. He'll play it back to Walford. Play number 5, McClendon, gives it to Mogg. He pops it over the top, and reaching out to score for the Raiders was Nathan Smith. They will send it upstairs, look at the grounding. But Smith, I'm sure, has planted metres away. Stopped there by Menzies. Gaffer from dummy half to Michael Wayman, who was charging at them. Stopped there by Randall. Gaffer fires it from dummy half to McClendon. Tyron Smith into a hole. Yeah. He'll go across himself and score. A couple of late tries here for the Raiders. They're going to make this scoreline look a lot today, because they've beaten the Raiders 36 points to 22 and put a severe dent in Canberra's hopes of finishing in the top 8.
Yeah, great performance by Manly. Heads themselves further away from the wooden spoon. They used the football. They set the game up after half-time. You mentioned the fact that they scored 4 unanswered tries, and it was the way that they went about it. Defensively, they were great as well. Michael Monaghan slicing through the Raiders' defensive line. Then it was Scott Donald. Then it was the grubber kick through. Donald grabbing his second of the afternoon. And Chris Hicks, who's been a try-scoring machine for the Eagles this afternoon.
He grabbed the double himself. There were plenty of them on offer. Hicks got two, Donald two, Torrens, Menzies and Monaghan all scored. Walker kicked 3 from 5. Hicks 1 from 3. Gaffer, Croker, Smith and Smith, Nathan and Tyron both scored. Schifofsky kicked 3 of 4 for the Canberra Raiders. That wraps it up here at Brookvale Oval this afternoon. We'll see if Scott Donald signs once again with the Seagulls for 2005 and beyond this week. But don't forget, there's plenty more NRL action coming your